Justice League Unlimited issue 13, Mark Waid writing with Dan Mora on the art. So I quite like the setup of the last issue, which was like forming this team of these like displaced heroes who are not really the real versions. They're kind of like echoes of the heroes from these snapshots of time. So you've got your weird like Kingdom Come Green Lantern with Alan Scott. You've got your Batman Beyond and Blue Superman, all that stuff. And then the plot is Mr. Terrific taking this, the Suicide Squad, if you will. That's what Alan Scott calls themselves that at the start, because that's effectively what they are. They're expendable. They're all going to go in here knowing. And sure enough, like 3 of them die in this first issue because, like, hey, they're all like I say, expendable. I will say though, this issue kind of felt a little bit like it just devolved into lots of action in a way that didn't really have much kind of momentum or kind of a forward going thing. It's like, okay, we're in like hell, we're fighting these big demon things, try to get to Neron, and like, yeah, you've got like big action panels, but it ultimately they all just start kind of blurring together and looking the same to me at a certain point, especially since we're in hell and it's all just like bubbly orange and yellow backgrounds and stuff like that. There's no kind of sense of space or anything. There's no kind of tethers to make it all kind of work and click together. We do cut to like the Watchtower briefly to see like I think it's Blue Beetle talking to some of the challengers about stuff, but yeah, for the most part it's doing all this stuff because we see we cut to like Rainbow Raiders causing trouble in the city, and they're saying how because remember the whole reason why we're doing this trip to hell is because Neron's made a bunch of the villains more powerful than they should be. That's the whole premise of this.
And you get a lot of these similar guys here, and it's Chroma, Dr. Spectra, Rainbow Raider, and they're we get some talk about like the emotional spectrum and what the different lights can do and whatnot. Some really cool art from Mora here, right?
Mora's good, yeah.
With Dr. Colt, and then he's feeling the red, and then Martian Manhunter falls down to the fear of it, and then we get Kid Flash rushing around being like, light has to travel in a straight line. He was zigzagging, so he's not susceptible to it. So I thought all that actiony stuff was fun, but I think that's the height, I would say, of the art, because then when we get back to hell, it's a lot of those yellow, orange, red backgrounds.
It's the same kind of feeling you get in a movie where the final fight takes place in something that's clearly just all green screened and there's no sense of space or geography. It's the same kind of problem where in all this stuff in hell there's no sense of space, so it just feels like meaningless, where at least in the fight that takes place up in the city, some of the panels only have kind of vague backgrounds, but there is a few that have like, this is a street corner, this is where some stuff that's recognizable is around you, so you get a sense of space at least a little bit. So yeah, and then all the stuff in hell is like there's a little bit of Green Lantern giving Batman Beyond a pep talk when he gets scared. The main thing is Mr. Terrific tricking the Medusa-looking demon lady down there with a question. I'm
looking for her name and I don't see it. It's just one of these demons. And I like that Mr. Terrific brings logic, and if you can, what's they're doing here? He's like, I have to, is it a riddle? Right? You want a game, so they challenge you. And this demon can read their mind, but Mr. Terrific hits with the, this statement is false. Is that true or false? And so that tricks the demon. And
it's a paradox.
Yeah. And that's not, that doesn't work for her, brother. And so she goes rogue anyways, and we lose the, Kingdom Come Green Lantern here because she uses wood because he had mentioned that was his weakness.
Yeah, she gives him wood.
Yep, she does. And we get to Neron here at the end, and
he's basically just doing the villain thing where he's watching him through his crystal ball, going, "Aha! They're never going to defeat me. I'm too powerful."
Mind you, this is meant to be DC Satan. And he's sitting on his crystal ball, just, doing Mr. Burns' hands.
Right, yeah, honestly, this was kind of lame, this issue. I'm sorry to say. Because as good as Dan Mora is as an artist, all the stuff in Hell just kind of blurs together and looks the same to me. It's hard to really get invested in any of it. Yeah, the ending's kind of weak sauce. Like the only thing that seemed kind of cool to me is maybe some of some of the characters forming bonds, like Green Lantern and Batman Beyond, like was kind of like hinting at something that would have been kind of cool. Is like some of these characters like kind of getting to know each other before they die might have been interesting. Yeah. But as it is though, it just kind of all mostly blurs together. It's one of those like Mark Waid, Batman Superman World's Finest or Justice League Unlimited issues where it just kind of feels like a whole bunch of fighting and not a lot of substance. And that's what this felt like to me.
This has become the event tie-in book that I was hoping it wasn't going to be. When this first got teased, the whole idea of, we'll have the entire DC Universe heroes at the disposal of Mark Waid to tell these big team stories, and it's pulling from this classic TV show that did the same kind of thing. And then it's just tied into event after event. Once the timey-wimey Legion of Doom got revealed, it falls into all of this. And I almost wish it had just focused on it had taken its time with these displaced heroes going into hell, and then we actually would feel something, despite the fact like they're just echoes. When they die, you kind of feel something for them.
The most interesting thing about that last issue, I thought, was that them knowing, even if we all live and win, we're all going to disappear because we're just kind of like these copies of the real people. So them knowing that they're effectively expendable, but in every sense of the word, not just like someone's opinion, but wanting to do the right thing anyway and accepting that they're probably going to die no matter what, and then making us care about them after the fact and making them sort of like kind of fear that but do the right thing anyway. Like there's a lot of stuff you could have pulled on there to make us really care about their like mission and journey, but this felt like it was just rushing through some beats because they have to finish it in another 2 issues time or something. It didn't feel like there was any real meat to it here.
Like Power Girl and Guy Gardner and someone else get taken off essentially in a shadow, right? Like we see their silhouettes, and they all get cut down at the same time. Versus we do get a good moment with Alan Scott, Kingdom Come, Green Lantern, where he's kind of like he's served his purpose. He saved them for as long as he can, and I was kind of expecting more of those to happen instead of this kind of jumping around amorphous hell. But disappointment. Yeah,
I think it's just some more thought into like what the obstacles were going to be once they're in hell. It just been instantly we're surrounded by things to fight, and it's just a bunch of meaningless fighting. It's just not that interesting. Like there should have been more of like a quest to get to Neron or something. Sure, there'll be some fights along the way, no doubt, but like I don't know, like we have to go past like the evil mountains of blah 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 or something to get to Neron. I don't know. Anything would have been more interesting than just fight. Here's a riddle. Neron's looking evil, saying, haha, they'll never get to me. Yeah. Lame sauce. Lame sauce, I'm sorry to say. What are you giving Justice League Unlimited, Matt?
I'm gonna give this a 6.
I am going to go with... It's at most a 5. I'm tempted to even go a little bit. I'll say 5, because I mean, Mora's art's still good. But, like, yeah, I'm going to go 5 out of 10.